All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Colleen.
Okay.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Wow,
Here we are.
You tired of us yet?
I know.
We're
ready to go.
Yes.
We've just been chatting and laughing. A lot of laughter. We might do a lot of laughing today because, as you said, you have to laugh at the dark humor of it. I think today we're going to talk about some of the less maybe publicized bills is what I think. They're all politicized. Let's be real. These are less maybe in the public eye, maybe ones that aren't we're not seeing a lot of orgs discuss. And so we kind of picked a few batshit crazy ones to share with y'all.
Lucky you.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So where do we want to start today?
So why don't you start with yes.
Oh, me, I get to start.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I'm seeing a few things in common, bills that are really leaning into the Bible as a historical text.
Surprise.
When did this happen? When did we all collectively decide that we are teaching the Bible as historical text? I missed that somewhere.
Yes. And in fact, being raised in a Catholic tradition, Catholic elementary and Catholic high school, yeah, they would never even try to fake that. Like the nuns would never sort of go, by the way,
Right?
this was historical. No, it's part of a religious it's a religious
It's a religious text, right?
and it's based upon a set of beliefs.
Yes.
Yes.
So there are kind of 3 bills that I wanted to talk about from 3 different representatives. But I think we'll start with HB 0047, which already has passed on the House floor. And it's a bill encouraging local school districts and charter schools to hang the 10 Commandments in a prominent location alongside the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and other historical texts. Public schools hanging the 10 Commandments. I know this has happened in other states, but buckle up, Tennessee. They're gunning for us too.
And the way the language is, that is though it is an historic document. And I just keep going, when was it carbon dated? Like when did that happen? Right? I mean, they've just decided it's an historic document. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's kind of boggles the mind. But then I'm seeing language in bills here. So Representative Todd, I believe it was last week, 2 weeks ago, you and I actually sat in on him presenting House Bill 1446, which he names the Recognizing Judea and Samaria Act. So he basically wants to ensure that going forward, we no longer refer to the West Bank as the West Bank, but as Samaria and Judea. And I mean, the bill itself is like just referencing biblical text as his reason for like going back to calling it Samaria and Judea. And he actually at one point cites recognizing the Bible as a legitimate historical document. Says who?
That's right.
Who says who? Who says that? Where did that come from?
It's a proclamation from they. They have said it, so that must be it. Yes.
Well, anyway, I mean, it was the testimony we saw from the witness he brought forward was a complete white nationalist.
And everyone in the audience, or those of us that, I shouldn't say everyone in the audience, but a significant number of us just kept laughing because it was just, it was
ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And even we did have some Dems on the committee, Miller and Chisholm, who did push back and said, who wants this? Right. Who's asking for this? You know, Miller said he had recently been to Israel per the invitation of like Netanyahu and said, I don't recall him ever in the time I was with him asking for this. Mm-hmm. So it is it feels like a total white nationalist prop up, ultimately allowing a genocide in the area.
I was in the same place. I kept waiting for at least one reference to there being Palestinian people in the region. like just one acknowledgement that this land was a land where Palestinians lived, continue to live today.
No
Not
reference.
one. So it's that thing for me about erasing people. Like if there's many ways to erase people. One way is direct,
Mhm.
and the more indirect is like never to say their name,
Right.
right?
He
Never.
did say terrorist organization Hamas.
Yes, he did.
He did many times, never referenced the Palestinian people
Mm-mm.
and, the complete decimation of their land and homes. So
And lives.
and
And
lives.
lives.
Absolutely, and
So,
lives. So
yeah.
gross. And then back to this Bible as historical text, we've got Gino Balso with another banger here. This one is HB 1491, commonly known as the Protecting Religious Liberty and Expression in Public Schools Act, which I'm going to read here. Public schools shall teach all students, except for the students who are excused, the Bible as literature, and then age appropriate instruction on the history of Israel, the stories and the moral and ethical teachings of the Old and New Testaments, the life of Jesus, and the history of early Christian church. This is a public school.
Hey, you know what? Now, every one of those public schools, according to one of these other bills, can have a paid chaplain using public monies in each of the schools if that's what you want. These people are, when you talk about crafting a culture or deconstructing a culture, both of those things are happening simultaneously.
Right.
And, folks, be warned. When you put your religion as the politics of the land, we know this country was founded because people were getting away from
That's right.
that. That's what they were running away from. And we will not forget.
Right. I think it is just also paving the way. We have vouchers last year. We know we're hearing about the destruction of the Department of Education and this desire to, create these sort of indoctrinated schools, changing our public schools from the top down. And once again, this is an example of Tennessee sort of like, hey, we'll pave the way for this absolute craziness. So anyway, those were like kind of the batshit crazy.
Can I add one piece onto
Please
this? Thank you.
add,
Which this?
add, darling.
Yes, which is
I need to.
with my cousin, my sweet cousin. Shout out to my cousin who just visited me. Um, sent me a text afterwards and said, "Is this like trying to go back to the day of sort of separate, but quote unquote equal in the South? Right? It was never equal, right? But
Didn't she
but
say segregation? Was that the word she used or no?
she may, yes, I think she did use that word. And it is this thing around." This restructuring so that you have schools that are religious and they can make decisions about who comes to those schools. And so children with disabilities may very well not be served. Children of every different racial or religious backgrounds may very well not be served. People with more limited incomes may very well not be served. And so you're using public dollars to segregate people in these different ways. And I look at children today and I really sort of go, they've been raised with this much more egalitarian people are looking very different than them with different religions in a classroom. And it must be the thing that terrifies these
Yeah.
folks because they want a culture that's all mono, and controlled
Well,
by.
yes, and we all know that religious, I don't know, I'm jumping around for words. I keep using the word indoctrination, but it is a form of
Mhm.
oppression. It absolutely is. And let's be real, so much of this Christian teaching right now, these folks are leaning into the oppressive portion of what it means to be a Christian. We're seeing it all
Oh,
over the place. So
exactly.
this is just, it feels like another layer to an oppressive state, country. I
Right.
mean, here we are,
Right.
another example of it.
Absolutely.
I wonder, before we jump into
Yeah.
Michelle's, let's take like a little pause.
Yeah. So
Okay, yeah, I wanna hear what you
yes,
uncovered. What'd
yeah.
you dig up?
I mean, we just zipped through and just sort of went, oh, we'll pick this one. We'll talk about this. We'll
There
pick
was
it.
a lot to pick from.
There's a lot to pick from. There's not as much positive bills, and there are some in there. It's not that it's all negative, but we do need to stop a lot of this horror. But I wanted to point out two things. One is that Mitchell, HB 2286, and Campbell in the Senate, SB 2624, have put forward a bill to repeal all of this, what they're calling freedom scholarships, using public money for these vouchers so children can go to these private schools, most of which are religious based. And,
Here we are.
what we're having here in Nashville, and you've probably heard me talk about this, which is, we're not getting as much money as
Right.
other places are getting. And so, for instance, about 7,500 is the average statewide. Nashville's getting about 4,500 from the state. And
7,500 is what a voucher student is getting?
correct. Thank you
Right,
very much.
and then
Right.
so the state is giving 7,500 to a voucher student. The state is giving in Davidson County about
Thank you very
$4,300,
much.
I believe it
You
is.
are
Yeah.
exactly correct. Thank you for that correction. And most of them are going to folks who were already in the schools,
We know this
right?
for a
We knew
fact,
this was
yeah.
going to happen, and with there's very oversight, accountability. It's just not there. So I love the fact that Mitchell and Campbell have just said, can we just do away with all this? Because we all know it's wrong. They're not even testing these kids. We know that they don't do as well. I mean, all of that. Can we just do away with it? So I
So
kind of
they're wanting to do away with vouchers?
they're wanting to do away, right, with these freedom scholarships.
Got it.
They're like, let's get rid of these bills. Let's get rid of the charter schools. Let's get rid of these things that we know have not performed the way they promoted that they were going to form. And they're not for the children that they initially said they were going to be for, which were children that were underachievers and may have had economic challenges.
So really they're just going on the record, creating this
That's right.
bill. We don't see this bill actually
No.
making
But
any.
the wonderful thing about a bill like that is they get a chance to talk about
Yeah,
these issues that I'm just highlighting right now
right.
publicly, in committee, even if it doesn't get to the floor and gets voted down. The other one I wanted to mention was, why is it so difficult? So Camper has a bill, HB 1219, and Akbari over in the Senate, SB 0587, and it's just to make sure that there's feminine hygiene products in the high schools for the young women. Why would this be such a difficult bill to pass? Why? It just blows my mind.
Because we're
Why?
going to put the Bibles there. Maybe we can use the Bibles as period pads.
Oh, thank you, Colleen. My Colleen.
Let's get creative.
Okay, Jesus. Oh, darling.
Take the wheel.
Yeah, take the wheel. That's right. Oh, but it's that thing. It's like we hear them sometimes arguing about bills that are just so common sense. Like, why is this not already a law? Or why would you even spend time arguing about should it be? So I just wanted to give you an example of one it's a great bill.
Do you know when it's going to be heard next?
I'm not sure. It's this week.
Literally, would the
this week.
argument be funding?
Oh,
What is, you know what I mean?
The
Like,
cost.
what will, yeah.
Everything there comes down to what is the cost. When Kumar was saying we can't have, Medicaid expansion because this might at some point in the future cost the state money, even though our taxpayer money would just be coming back to us. Everything is a conversation about money. Not that money shouldn't be considered, but come on, not when you're funding. I'm about to talk about the HB 1639, the Office of Homeland Security. This is a not so good bill, terrible bill. So they're going to create an Office of Homeland Security within the Department of Safety. There is another bill that would require every place in the state to be a 287G. So you have the statewide sort of enforcers, and then you have everywhere in the state, even a place like Davidson County that has not wanted a 287G, which is a partnership with ICE to enforce kidnapping of Hispanic and Latino folks. And we're going to see more.
Not just Hispanic and Latino.
No,
we're seeing it target other immigrant communities
refugees
as well.
in particular, refugees. Yes. So terrible bill. It's going to be heard this week as well. So watch for that. The other bill I just wanted to mention was SB 1664 by Rose and HB 1665 by Mayberry. What that bill does is a doctor cannot speak to a child on any issues related to gender. And why that is so important, I remember when my daughter was a teen and my doctor asked me to step outside. I didn't know what he was going to talk about. There was a nurse in there. I trust my doctor. And I realized afterwards they wanted to check the questions around, how they're feeling about their sexuality. Do they have issues around depression? That kind of a thing, which sometimes you can't talk about in front of your own parent. It's not that your parent's bad or your children are not okay. It's sometimes a third person they can maybe speak to some stuff that can be hard. And to put it into law that you can't even the child, because to open up for a child, right, that may be having questions around their assigned gender at birth, it's a great opportunity with a medical provider to be able to have that conversation.
Okay, well, in unintended consequences, here's another whole group of medical providers that may decide to leave the state because they're facing, I mean, when you're going in and just trying to practice medicine and you're having to think about what legality issues you're walking into simply by being a provider, we've seen it happen with OBGYN. Like they're leaving because it's just too risky sometimes to give the care that is required. So that's another unintended consequence. There go pediatricians.
That's true. Like, why would you stay here?
Just another
You would
reason.
risk.
Yeah.
Right. So I had a couple of oddballs. Should I take oddball bills?
Let's hear them.
Okay. So, yes. So Kumar, I was referencing, he is a doctor out of Robertson County. He came out strong against Medicaid expansion, and they love it because they're like, well, if the doctor doesn't want it, but his whole argument was about money. That was it. Purely about money, the way the bill was structured, we shouldn't have it. But you know what he does? He is promoting? He's promoting clog dancing. Okay, fine. We all love clogging. That's so sweet. But that is your priority, the bill
Right.
that you're going to put forward as a promotional bill?
You're a doctor up there.
Yes.
So much more you could be doing.
And then our friend Bolso, who we do talk about, Franklin, what are you doing?
Is it Franklin or is it Brentwood?
It's Williamson County.
So
he has a piece of Williamson
touches
County.
a little bit. Okay.
He does.
Okay.
Please, somebody run against this man. I mean, it's so, you can't, or come and watch him. Come and watch the Bolso scene at the legislature. You will be understandably appalled. But he is putting forward Charlie Kirk Day. Just, there you go. Why
What's
not?
that?
Oh, gosh. I don't come down free speech, fine. This is somebody who put a lot of hate out there. And
What even would the day be? We just name it Charlie Kirk Day?
We're just going to call, there's going to be a Charlie Kirk Day. Yeah. Right. To honor this person that was so divisive. Yeah, with a lot of hate speech. So I'm just like, okay, but you're going to put that forward.
He also has a Charlie Strobel Day, doesn't he? Charles Strobel.
He did get a couple years
and
ago.
And the family was like, we don't want your name attached. Charles Strobel was a Catholic beloved priest who helped start Room in the Inn.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Yeah, but what could the family do? He grabbed it up and put it forward without necessarily consulting with the family. Hello, look at this. Anyway, so then, but I wanted to say, he wants to do away with the 14th Amendment. So here...
Which we discussed last week. Yeah.
We did discuss it last week, but it's worth noting again. I mean, this is somebody who's, I don't know what goes on in that brain, but...
He also wants to do away with Pride Months and Pride flags.
Pride Month, Pride flag, that's right. Bye-bye. Nothing about Pride. That's right. Do not have any
Charlie
pride.
Kirk Day.
And Charlie Kirk Day, so in replacement. And then the other one I want to mention, HB 2089 by Powers and SB 2168 by Yeager. Before I mention this, I just want to remind you, Yeager's the fellow who was drunk driving and did a hit and run, right? This was just last year. Still serving. There he is. He's just up there serving. He's put forward Teach the Children About Communism Day as a way of sort of going, we must protect our children from communism. So it's an anti-communism day that children will be taught about in the elementary schools.
The horrors of communism.
The horrors of communism. While we're dealing with this totalitarian.
So cool. Yeah. Bible in the classroom. We're going to celebrate Charlie Kirk. No period products. But 10 commandments as you walk in. What else?
I know. It's a new world. It's a new day. And yeah. And they'll just should we pause a sec?
Are you ready to pause? Is that all of our bills? A lot of these things are going to be seen, heard again in committee meetings on the 4th of March. I know
That's
all the ones
correct.
that I mentioned
Yeah, and
are
some of
gonna be
mine will actually
heard
be the 3rd, so,
a lot this week.
yes. And I think the 2 big bills I wanna mention this week are, on Wednesday, HB 1711 by Davis and SB 2108 by White. It's that all law enforcement agencies and government entities are going to have to report persons who are not lawfully present in the U.S.
Which includes public schools.
Okay, so can I just say people do not have something branded to their face? How are people going to know other than racially profiling? Can I just say, like, there is not a way. You have got to racially profile. You've got to ask people for papers. Do you have your papers? What does that remind you of? Does that remind you a little bit of Hitler's time? You have to show your papers. It's so disturbing. That's on Wednesday. It's at 1 o'clock, and at 10:30 in the House Finance, Ways and Means Committee at 10:30, Lamberth's bill, one of our favorite people, HB 793 and SB 0836 by Watson. This
Oh,
is
they're
what we
bringing it
had
back.
last year.
They're bringing it back.
It was not voted down. If you remember, there was a big ruckus around refusing to enroll students who are unlawfully present in the U.S. Again, what are we doing? We are going to be keeping children out of school who came here with their parents or were, whatever. Like, you have to provide documentation that are they going to get every child in the school to
It's just
provide
cruelty. It
documentation?
just doesn't. It's just
It's a
cruelty. It's just
it's a
cruelty
horror.
for the sake of being cruel.
And I'm just going to remind you, Christians, just Christians. They're just Christians. Nice, lovely. I'm just like, Christians, please speak up about this. It's just so important right now that they hear from folks out there.
All right.
Yeah, even your dog is
I
crying.
know she's crying
She's
for it
crying.
too.
She's like, oh,
I know. Okay, well, those are all the wacky and kooky bills, and we'll
yeah.
take a little pause right here. We'll be
So
back.
we decided we would try something this time, which is ask each other a question we don't know that we're going to ask each other. So this is my question for you,
Oh
Colleen,
boy.
is what are you telling your girls about
Mm.
what is going on right now at the legislature, where you're putting not a significant period of your amount of your time, but you are definitely thinking about it, processing it, going down there, doing
Mm-hmm.
a podcast.
Yeah.
So what are you telling your girls about right now? What's going on?
I think I'm pretty honest with them about what's going on. I have some pretty like attuned children, and as you know, I wear everything kind of like on the outside, and I live my life like in reality of what's happening. So, I think they know that folks are being targeted here, racially profiled, that it is rooted in racism. They know how I feel about white nationalism and how it is really infiltrated Christianity, because we do have some Christian family members, and I'm pretty honest about what I see as indoctrination and oppression of women vis-a-vis Christianity. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty honest with them. Yeah. As my youngest one said last year when I got into an argument with someone I care about deeply and she witnessed it, she said, "Doesn't he know you're a protester?" Uh, so they know how much I feel about the world that we're creating for them, and so they're I kind of tell them a lot.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
I, I think that's wise.
Yeah.
I think right now, I think truth telling for children is critical right now, and not trying to shield them, because with social media, it's sort of like everywhere. We're carrying it, they're hearing it everywhere they go, and they're seeing.
Also,
Yeah.
why not us? This idea of
Yes.
American exceptionalism,
Yes.
that we don't experience trauma, that we don't, these things don't happen to us, is a load of shit. And it is, and we are perpetuators of that all across the world. And so this idea that we are then shielded from that is not accurate.
Mhm.
And it's not, it's how we got in this mess to begin with. So the stories I was raised with are not true. And so I have to make sure that we're telling the truth now going forward. Oh,
Such a good mom.
oh, thank you.
It would have
So
been
are
it would have been
you.
great to be your child.
Oh boy. I don't know. You ask them that. You ask them how they feel about being my child. Okay. And now my question for you. I got to be totally honest. I didn't even know what you were going to ask me. So of course I didn't have anything prepared.
That's okay, but maybe we do that next time.
Michelle.
Yes. Oh, okay. I'm not going to get away with this.
No. I admire you so much in how you are one of the most grounded individuals I
Oh my
know.
gosh. Okay, so stop that. So what's your
No,
question?
that's my question. How do you stay so
Oh,
grounded? You are running into the fire and reporting on everything and really educating everybody, but you are also really busy with this. So how do you maintain grounding and peace?
oh, gosh. Um, the facade may lie because inside I doesn't feel that way.
Mhm.
You know, when the Lunar New Year being the fire horse, I'm just like, yes, it's just for me,
Mhm.
um I feel on fire a lot. I am a Sagittarian, so it is a fire sign, but I have had practices that are of a spiritual nature, but and also managing my physicality, with stretching and walking. But stretching I pretty much keep. I like pretty much every day, but a lot of my aerobic stuff I've sort of let go, and especially during the legislative time. And it's interesting. We've done this nonviolence training.
Mhm.
And I was asked recently to talk about de-escalation to a law school class, and I'm like, I'm not really great at living this right now, honestly. I try very hard to maintain, but I find it difficult. So there's a new group here, resistance singers. So we're trying to like use our voice in that way.
Mhm.
And I also do have a spiritual practice. I do practice. Um, Thich Nhat Hanh's Plum Village, Buddhism, and I do have a Sangha. So every week I'm sitting with people and I do some chanting with another online Sangha. So I have these practices,
Mhm.
but I would say right now I'm internally in quite a bit of turmoil.
Yeah.
Um, and it just seems like the demands on our time keep going up, and the witnessing, um, the need for us to witness and not close our eyes and not turn away. It's this thing. I'm just going to just finish with this, Colleen. Um, I During George Floyd, I'll use George Floyd as an example, and I heard people say, "I can't look at that," and I've said to white people, "You must look at it because you can't in any way know what it's like to be an African American person in this culture, and that is why you must look, so that as much as possible you can get it into your fabric of your skin and yourself,
Mhm.
so that then you will not be able to turn away when when there's a particularly racial oppression." And so I feel that way about now. Like, I could get teary-eyed right now, as difficult as it is to see what's being done.
Mhm.
People are being taken every day off our streets quietly, and people are trying to stop that from happening loudly. Um, and you don't have to be on the street, but we can't turn away. And that is what happened in Germany. Like, I am very clear. My mom was German. You sort of go, what happened? Like, how could people just live and not stop it? Find ways to stop it. That's what I'm calling people to. Just find ways, find any way, but stop these people in our state right now
Yeah.
for what they're doing. If they hear from you, you know what? There was a room full of gray-haired older people like me. I'm older, but whatever, the biology's left me with this dark hair. But there was a room of folks who were my age. Those are the people that folks are scared about,
Mhm.
right? And young people that can articulate.
Yeah.
We have children. We don't want this world for our children.
That's right.
Thank you. Thanks for your
Okay,
question. I
thank
love you.
you. I love you. We did it again. We did it again, episode 3.
All right,
Angelic
folks.
Dissenters.
Angelic Dissenters.
We'll see you next week.
The Angelic Dissenters.
The. Thank you. Why do I drop it every time?